I just come out of the bathroom and I heard what was a rat-a-tat-tat, and I thought it sounded like somebody had thrown a brick of fireworks at the front entrance of the VIP entrance down there on the sidewalk. And that went off, and I thought that was really weird, so I walked up to the top of the stairs to go back into the tent, the VIP tent, and the bartenders were saying, get down, there's been a shooting. And I'm like, what, It's those firecrackers. And they're like, no, get down, and people would start dropping down all around me. And then I jumped down and I said, I got to get back out there and get my wife, because she was at the front section of the gate closest to the stage. So the Mandalay Bay, the shooter was behind us, shooting down over the top of her and then down in front on the other side of us.
And we were just sitting in our seats, and it sounded like fireworks. We heard pop, 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 pop. And we looked, and we were looking for like lights, and lights never happened. And then we heard it again, and then all the lights went off on the stage. And then people started running, and we like waited a second because we didn't know if it sounded like, you know how like the speakers blow out? I thought it was like a power surge or whatever. And then people were running, we held off a second, and then she said, get down, get down. So we got down, everybody was running, and then we were stuck like in that corner over where all the food people were. So we couldn't go anywhere, so we just laid down in the bleachers, and then people had broke through like the barriers where the people were selling the food, so we just got out that way, and we ran out that backside and hid behind the police cars.
My heart's broken for the family, for the people who were lost. It's just in mankind for doing these sick people doing this stuff to innocent people who are just, enjoying life. I'm disappointed.
And then just mass crowds start running at me, and I'm like not even sure what's happening, but I hear there's an active shooter, and I just pick up my guitar and start running, and it was very traumatizing seeing all these people in fear for their lives, and hard for me not to be in fear for my life as well. And I just kind of took off running.
During the initial 4-round burst of shots, everybody was wondering the sound, like, is it a firecracker? Is the speaker malfunction? So nobody really thought anything of it. They just continued, didn't skip a beat. The second time there was more of the same sound, and everybody kind of looked at each other. And then the third time there was actually people who had been hit. So that's when people realized what was actually happening. There was people crying out for help, and then there was obviously a mass panic, and people wanted to run away as fast as they could.
I was lucky enough to get out of there like minutes before it happened. It was all happening behind me, and I went home, and I had hundreds of texts and calls, everyone making sure I was okay, and I was really scared. And I have friends that were affected by it. I've heard a lot of classmates have been hurt, a lot of colleagues.
When I realized actually what was going on, I actually stood kind of frozen, wondering, like, is this actually true? Is this actually happening? It was surreal, to be honest.
I'm just so grateful that I just missed it, but there's also so much pain of thinking, like, why wasn't it me, and what did those people do to deserve it?
I would carry anybody who needed to be carried out, whether it was to get to a truck bed of a random civilian who's just using their truck bed as a way to get people to the hospital. There was makeshift little clinics inside that they had turned into. So we would transport the injured people there so they could try to get medical attention from, off-duty EMTs or the people or the staff there. So that's what we were doing until the entire place was cleared out.